Stop playing games efficiently. I'm assuming this is going to be like tryharding bad kind of video. He's got a Mr. Krabs. No, that's Larry the Lobster. Come on, man. Know your SpongeBob Lord. Jesus Christ.
Picture this. You just got off your 9-to-5 shift at the poop fart factory. Picture this. You just got off your 9-to-5 shift at the poop fart factory.
Okay, already inaccurate. I don't get up. I'm a streamer. I don't get up until 3 in the afternoon. And then I don't start doing stuff until 8 o'clock at night.
Get home, you shower, you cook up some food, or maybe get fast food on the way home.
Dude, I've not cooked a single meal in my life, I think. I think the last time I cooked, I posted it on Twitter as the Christmas dinner, and it was labeled as an absolute national tragedy, and people never let it go. That's going to be the scariest thing when I move out, by the way, learning how to cook. Day one, I think I'm going to cause a house fire. Genuinely. Like not deliberately, totally on accident.
You clean up a little bit, feed or walk your pet, and suddenly 2 out of your 5 hours of free time are gone. If you're content with your 9-to-5, which is totally fine.
I do want to point out, by the way, I think this video is hilarious because streamers will react to this video, like what I'm doing now, and it does not relate to them at all. Because, like, e-celebs, like YouTubers, streamers, are some of the most lazy people imaginable. They'll just get up at 4 in the afternoon, record a video, get their editors to put it all together, and then just go back to bed. Or just goon for like 7 hours.
Then you have 3 hours of free time to enjoy the rest of your night. If you have side projects, then you work on that for a bit, and now you just have 1 to 2 hours of free time.
I couldn't imagine having that little free time. I know that makes me sound really unrelatable, but like, could you like imagine how big and like bloated, wrong word, how expansive games are now, where like you get a game that's like 30-40 hours, a huge sandbox open world game that would take you months to beat. It's crazy. Like that time sink is insane, and that's including like if you're even enjoying the experience and stuff. I saw Avowed came out recently and everyone's been roasting that.
And then finally you boot up your PC or console to play some games.
Time to play the game.
People will have a goal in mind. People will boot up COD, drool at the mouth, and
I think this is why like competitive shooters are actually doing sorry, I gotta move my Oscars, gotta move my success over here. I think one of the reasons why these kinds of games like COD and that always do so well, because yeah, if you've only got like 2 hours a day to spare for video games, you're not going to want to put it in some huge RPG, right? You're going to want to do it on a competitive game where you get like a quick dopamine release. But then there's the problem where you've got kids that have just unlimited time and they absolutely sweat on you because they've just got nothing else to do.
Work towards that mastery camo for a few.
Anyway, the point I was going to make is like, I've become an old man. I'm a boomer. I don't like COD anymore. I don't play Valorant. I usually just play like single player games. I know a lot of people do that as like, oh, it's the personality trait. Oh my God. But I've seen like a resurgence now where people are like putting down comp games and then they're actually trying to dig into like more of like kind of indie single player games. There's this really good game. It's like an indie single player game, but they added multiplayer recently. It's called Minecraft. You guys should check it out.
Then you go lay in bed, scroll on your phone for longer than you should, and fall asleep. Rinse and repeat. No, don't.
I think it is actually scary how that is so relatable. So many people just sit there like scrolling on their phone. I do the exact same thing. And then we all complain why our attention has just been completely devoid.
Get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with this lifestyle or
I've been watching you since I was but a wee boy. Please, can you?
I could apply that same mouth-foaming, brain-dead moment to any game that has a long-term grind. But what if you just play games to have fun? How do you obtain the goal of...
He plays games to have fun! Point and laugh at him. Chat, point and laugh at him.
Having...
Wait, you guys have fun when you play video games?
Fun. Especially when the thought of work the next day looms over you like an anvil on a rope. For years, sadly, I've had so many days where I try to force myself to enjoy something, and most of the time it's fruitless. I just can't stop thinking about work even though there's nothing I can control. A very modern question that I even find myself looking up is, how do I enjoy video games again?
I see so many of these, and I think the argument a lot of these make is so disingenuous, because it's like, you're a kid, you play video games all day, Your brain is still developing. It's so small. Like this is the best thing in the world. This is why like so many companies now do remakes and remasters of games, because they're trying to play on that nostalgia of like when you were a kid, you enjoyed video games a lot more, but now you can't. Now you're at college, now you're at uni, now you got a job, you've got responsibilities, and your brain kind of switches into like, okay, I need to actually be like financially stable and like set up my future, as opposed to just playing video games all day. And then you've even got people that aren't employed. They're like NEETs, right? They just play video games all day. And then a lot of them will complain that they're mad depressed because they've got that looming dread of like, you're wasting your life. Because when you're a kid, you play video games. Who cares? But like once you hit like your 20s or like late teens, then it's like, oh, responsibilities, they're creeping in. And I think that feeling of dread like taints video games to the point where it's like, oh, I don't enjoy video games anymore. It's like because unfortunately, when you get older, there's a lot of responsibility now.
I mean, hell, this channel...
I mean, I get it, right? Like, you know, I got the easiest job in the world. I sit on my ass reacting to people's videos, and then I put out an overly long video every 8 months on the main channel. But, like, I find it hard to play video games on my own when I'm not streaming or doing a video, because it's so much of my work. But I also find it hard to enjoy them now. But at the same time, I don't think it's like... I know the reason behind that. Because when you play, I mean, I remember Markiplier talking about this on an interview once. It's like he, or was it a podcast, basically saying that like he doesn't play video games when he's not recording them because he just doesn't enjoy them, because he's made his entire life around it. I think he just does like board games or something, he said, which is kind of based.
Is the spawn of insecurity that I had playing video games while unemployed. This channel became a way for video games to be productive, but they don't need to be productive.
I think as well, like once you turn something into a job, there is like there's a half-life until that's a video game, until you don't enjoy it anymore, or it becomes a job that you don't enjoy it to the point of before it became the job.
Literally just an entertainment medium, granted the greatest entertainment medium of all time, but I digress. Think of playing video games like your parents and
computer table, £40. Why is there no picture of the computer table?
Facebook.
Am I buying the old man for £40?
Supposed to just be a way to relax and unwind, but when we have such tight schedules, we find ourselves trying to get the absolute most out of our time gaming. And this is where our biggest problem lies: playing games efficiently. What I mean by playing games quote unquote efficiently is that whenever you boot up your current game, you tend to look up your builds, the best dialogue choices, how to finish.
I'll be honest, I'm going to get some hate for this. Why am I blue? Why am I blue? What is wrong with you? Why are you blue? I've sometimes been given so much choice in a game that I just haven't played the game at all. I think a good example is Underrail. Underrail is this game where you can pick so many different classes, so many different loadouts. It's basically like the original Fallout game. And I remember like going to the first screen and I was overwhelmed so much. I was like, okay, if I don't pick the best strat here, I'm going to lock myself into a bad build. And then I closed the game and I never opened it since. Like, I definitely am someone that can be overwhelmed by choice because I've got a very small brain.
Puzzles, how to beat bosses, or
I don't understand what
I'm going to provide aren't the solutions to all your problems. But
I think that's a good point he makes though, because we're so strapped for time. It's like, okay, I need to min-max a game to make as much progress as possible, but in the process of doing that, you're basically killing the game. I mean, here's a good example, right? I installed Cookie Clicker on my PC. I know I'm like 10 years too late. I get it. I'm old. And then I was like 4 days into it, and I hit like a bit of a wall where like every 3 hours I could probably buy another building. So what I did is I just got bored. I put on the dev mode, gave myself unlimited cookies, and then just bought everything. Got every achievement, and then I just closed the game. Like, I think if I show you here, I think I actually have every achievement on the game. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. I have every achievement because I just used like, I went into the console, I typed in like dev 1, and I just unlocked everything. Because it's like, I kind of reached a point where I was like, this is just wasting my time. Like, I know it's an idle game. You're meant to have it running in the background. But like, I wasn't, you know, I just felt like I need to like min-max this as well. So I just skipped everything. And then I never touched the game again. I cheated? Yeah, no, I cheated. I cheated not only the game, but myself. I'm a coward. I don't agree that this is a good thing to do, by the way. I don't. But I was kind of thinking, like, wait, this is taking, like, I keep checking this thing, and it's like, it's actually getting in the way of, like, me working and stuff. Okay, time to 100% it, so I never have to open it again.
But think of it as advice from another pair of eyes. And don't be afraid to say to yourself, well, this advice really...
Making videos on games requires you to be efficient. Oh, 100%. That's why, like, any game that I do a video on, I never want to touch it again. Like, I'll return to some games like Cry of Fear, because, you know, you can beat it in like 3-4 hours. But games like Far Cry, I just never want to play again. I might do Far Cry 3 again for a Pyro Live video, because they did add Steam achievements onto Far Cry 3 now. But that might be impossible, because I think the online servers got shut down. I'm not really sure. I could look into that. But yeah. You know, when I do a main channel video on a game, I never want to touch that game again. Because it's, to me, it's been, like, completed. I've squeezed everything out of it. Like, I can get no more enjoyment out of that game.
Really isn't for me. Not all advice is for everyone. But hear me out. I think the true way to play a game is to treat it...
Will you play Jerkmate ranked on stream? Okay. I'm asking, I'm getting a second opinion here if I should play the Jerkmate ranked game on stream, because I've seen it. There is no nudity, there is no porn, but still, it's Jerkmate.
Like you're playing it 15 years ago. Let's dig up...
I'll be honest, I'll probably leave the Jerkmate game, and I'll probably just do like an ASAT on it or something, and just like stick me playing it in there.
An old memory of yours, or not, if you didn't experience this, but bear with us, rememberers. 10 to 15 years ago, you walk into a GameStop and you bolt it right towards your...
I like how every single game... Oh, they didn't add achievements for multiplayer in Far Cry 3? Okay, that's good. Okay, so it is possible. I like how every one of these games always uses this nostalgia bait. Also, nice FaZe Clan rucksack there, little bro. They always use this nostalgia of walking into a game store. Because, like, video game stores now... I don't know how it is with GameStop in America. I mean, I kind of know because the stock meme like a couple years back, but we have this, we have Game in the UK. That's the biggest video game chain. And I'll be honest now, it's just become like, a Toys R Us. Because all they really sell is just like Funko Pops, little memorabilia. They barely even sell games now because most people buy them online. Like, I do agree, okay? Like the nostalgia of like going into a video game store and buying games, that's gone and it sucks. I get that. But also, like, I think nostalgia is, like, a bit too blinding as well, to the point where you go back and revisit something and you're like, oh, this actually wasn't that good. Like, queuing up to buy a game when I could just download it instantly. It's funny because this always happens with people, right? You want the thing that you miss, but if you go back to experience it, then you're like, okay, no, we actually have it better now. Because now it's convenience, right? You can just buy a game from home, online, have it downloaded, no physical copy, no waste, nothing. And then... you'll think to yourself, oh, but I miss like queuing up that midnight release, that experience, having the physical game in my hands. But then you go back and it's like, oh, this is like queuing up for ages. This sucks. And now I got to go all the way back home. And then it's like 3 in the morning. Oh, this kind of sucks, actually. I want to go back. I do understand that there are a lot of people that are still physical collectors, though. And that's based. I don't have a problem with that at all. You know. But, yeah, I think people kind of just flip-flop a lot with stuff like that. HMV still peak. Don't they just sell like I'm surprised they're still open, man. They just sell like CDs and stuff, right?
Console sector.
You don't own what you buy online. You do on Steam, right? You do on Steam. They can't take your game away on Steam. They can delist a game on Steam, but if you already have the game on Steam, they can't take it away, right? I mean, prove me wrong, right? If there's an example where that's happened, where a game has been removed from your library. Because I've seen the argument brought up a lot, like, you'll be happy and own nothing. No one really seems to be bringing up an example. Read the TOS. I'm not reading the Valve TOS. 20 paragraphs.
Section.
I've never known an example of when you own a game on Steam and they take it away from you. I know if you don't buy a game, they can delist it, and that sucks. I remember they did that with Dark Souls 1. They delisted that off Steam, so now you can only get the remaster.
You start perusing games with the intent to purchase one, and you stumble across a game.
I remember as well there was a huge resurgence because 28 days later, the film with Cillian Murphy, you know, my le bomb, le kill people. That man, he was in 28 Days Later, and 28 Days Later, because it was changing hands between, I think, Fox to Sony, you couldn't get it anywhere. It wasn't on any streaming services, so everyone used this as an argument of, like, you own nothing. And people were, like, trying to resell their copies and stuff online, like the physical copies, and then I think, like, 2 months later, you can just watch it on, like, Amazon now.
Game with some really cool box art and a sick name.
His name is Cillian Murphy. His name is Cillian Murphy. Okay, all right. Okay, let's see. Say it.
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, it's Google's bugged or something, man. I don't know.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with this lifestyle or choice in games. It's honestly really nice to work towards those kind of long-term goals, and I could apply that same mouth-foaming, brain-dead moment to any game that has a long-term grind. But what if you just play games to...
Wait, what happened? Did I go... I went back. I went back. What the fuck happened?
I think the true way, and you bolt it right towards your console section. You start perusing games with the intent to purchase one, and you stumble across a game with some really cool box art and a sick name. For me, when I was...
I remember, actually, the games that had the most cool box art were the ones that sucked the most. What games were there? There was, like, Damnation. Don't I remember that? There's a game called Damnation. Oh, there it is. There it is. I like how so much box art back then was Le Man with Le Gun looking mysterious. Oh my god, that just looks like Western Gears of War. That actually looks like Gears of War. Crazy. Unreal Engine be like, my game now, my game.
Was a kid that was like Killzone and Resistance. I had no idea what these games were about.
Oh yeah, the Resistance box art was sick. Did you see, by the way, they said that they're not making another Resistance game? Insomniac tried to run it by Sony and they just went, no. No.
But
wait, no Battle Pass? No.
Damn, did that box art look sick. You start looking at the back of the box to get any tiny semblance of what the gameplay might actually...
I do love that, though. You looked at the back of box art and you'd see, like, the 3 images or so of, like, what the game looked like. So cool. I remember, like, whenever my dad would take me to buy a game, I'd always, like, when he drove me back home, I'd always just, like, read the instruction manual and stuff to, like, understand what the game...
Oh my god. The car ride home on those days could not be any longer.
I did just say this. It was based. It was based.
I swear. The whole way you're just reading the manual and
I said this. He stole this from me. He stole this from me in a dream, and then he put it in the video.
The pictures in it. And then you finally get home and you start playing. A few hours or maybe even a couple days into playing the game.
I do love it, though. Like, when you're a kid, you could just play the most slop imaginable, and you'd still love it because your brain just isn't fully formed, right? But then when your brain fully develops, you hit like 25, your brain fully locks in. It's like you definitely need like a different kind of pedigree of like a game to actually entertain you.
You come across a puzzle.
I do miss playing just absolute slop and enjoying it, genuinely.
A puzzle
so much easier back then.
Puzzle so hard for your little tiny brain that you get stuck on it for like over an hour.
Hey, Pyro.
Now, today...
Oh, the 15, actually. Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you, Trill Saber, for the 8 months.
People get stuck on a puzzle for 5 minutes.
You could fund maybe a 5-part series of Utopia. I don't even think Channel 4 would take the money, I'll be honest. I could literally walk in and be like, yeah, can we get Utopia? And they'll just be like, nah, we're too busy filming Come Down With Me where people shout at each other.
And then they just look up the answer. I was guilty of this like 3 days ago playing The Witcher 3. I just didn't feel like doing a puzzle. But back then, you just had to figure it out yourself. You had to do everything in the game yourself. You had to gear up yourself. Dialogue options were completely your choice, and negative outcomes you just had to deal with.
Dude, some games, like when I was a kid growing up, were brutal. I've been playing through Tomb Raider at the minute because they remastered it. They remastered 1 to 8 and no, 1 to 6. The 6 games. And I remember playing that as a kid and barely being able to get to like the 5th level. Like, games like that were absolutely brutal. I don't know how, like, you're meant to do it as a kid without, like, a guide or something.
Bosses that you were stuck on, you just had to learn and get better. There was no worry of the optimal build, reading online guides, watching walkthroughs, etc. I think, honestly, this is the true way to play video games. Sure, you might feel big and strong playing a meta build you looked up for your single-player RPG, but it just trivializes a lot of the game. Now, I know that might seem obvious to some people, but when you value your free time as much as I do, you can naturally fall into the habit of looking up your problems. Here's what you gotta start doing.
I have a rule. If I don't know the answer or the solution to a puzzle in a video game in 30 seconds, I look up the answer online.
The next time
It's a very fair rule.
you start up a new game, just start it with the...
I mean, I get it though. Like, okay, so I'm not into achievements that much anymore, unless it's for content. Like, you know, in Far Cry 3, getting all the collectibles, in, other games that I've covered, just doing everything 100%. But usually now, I don't do that in games. Because I get an achievement, and it's like, this means nothing to me. Dude, I remember, like, when I was... this sounds like actually old man reminiscing moment. But I remember one of the first games on the Xbox 360 that I got all the achievements on was the orange box. That was Half-Life 2, Episode 1, Episode 2. It was Portal, and it was Team Fortress 2. And getting all the achievements on that was like the best feeling in the world. Like the dopamine I got as a kid was like, oh my God. I mean, to be fair, like there wasn't a lot of dopamine. I never left the house and I was very, very fat. But that was one of the best moments of my life. I remember like the last achievement I had to get was called With Friends Like These, and it was play a game in TF2 with 7 or more people on your friends list. So what I would do is join any random game, because there's only like 3 maps on the Xbox version. I think it was like Hydro, Dust Bowl, and Two Fort. And I would literally just constantly add everyone in the game until people just accepted. And I was like, okay, stay with me, please. I need to add more people. And then eventually I got the achievement. My dream was fulfilled. But I don't care about achievements anymore, especially on Steam. I think Steam is the platform where people care the least, because you can just get an achievement manager and just get all the achievements anyway. It doesn't really matter. If someone's making like a video where they got all the achievements, that makes sense, because that's a tertiary thing. It's like you don't really care about the achievements. You care more about growing your channel and then also the monetization you get off it. That's helping you be productive in your business. So that makes sense. But I think like doing it for your own, like, I don't know, there might be some people in chat that disagree. They could be like hardcore achievement hunters. I know Snoise, like PS5 users, oh my God, they're rent-free about achievements. Like I speak to Dolan about this. That because Dolan is someone that still tries to get platinum on like all of the games that he plays. And I keep telling him, like, you do this for free, by the way. And then he tells me to shut up. I love achievement hunting. Yeah, I wish I enjoyed it. But I just don't get any dopamine from it anymore. It's just kind of like, eh. I mean, if I get an achievement, anytime I start a game, I always play it on the hardest difficulty, right? Dying Light taught me that, because Dying Light, after the first third, you're way too overpowered. The game gets boring. But if you stay on hard, it's good until like halfway through. Then you get overpowered anyway. So that's why I always play games on hard mode. And then you beat a game. Hang on. You get a game. You beat a game on hard mode, and then you get the little secret achievement, or like the little achievement that less than 10% of people have. And you got the little Reddit sparkle around it. That's pretty cool.
Goal of not looking up.
Thank you, Hairline Hob, for the 2. Okay, why are we doing troll names on Twitch? I haven't streamed on Twitch in 4 years. Why are we doing troll names on there now?
A single thing. Play through the whole game if you enjoy it. And I promise you, every victory, puzzle...
Dude, I bought God of Soy. I never played it once. Look at this. Oh, I never bought it? Oh, I didn't? Okay. False memory. Yeah, I bought Spider-Man. I never installed it. I never played it. What is wrong with me? There are probably so many games that I just haven't played. I mean, at the minute, my library is kind of full of all the games that I played for a stream. There's actually no games. That's cinema. Dude, I played that in 2022. Uh-oh. The coffin's coming. I just don't think there's any games. I mean, what did I do? What did I do last night? I booted up Ghostwire Tokyo. And I played it for like a minute, and then I was like, yeah, I'm bored. And then I've been getting into Helldivers a bit more recently. Only because there's mods for the game now.
Yo.
Thank you, Annan, for the 10. Any more editors? Not really at the minute, but if you've got a portfolio, I wouldn't mind looking. Just DM me on like Twitter or email it to me. Oh, thank you, Epic Danky, for the 50 gifted, man. Appreciate it. Again, W's in chat for Danky, as always. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. 50 gifted. No, he's actually... No, he won... He definitely won the lottery in a past life, and he gave it to his future self. Like there's no way he has that much money. He's definitely gave over $1,000 total in gifts and stuff. No, I really appreciate that, man. I hope you're having a good night. Yeah, I've been playing the Tomb Raider remaster as well. I love the Tomb Raider games, man. They're so good. Gloomwood as well. That's really good. But I don't really want to touch it again until it comes out in full. System Shock as well. System Shock 2 is coming out, by the way. The remake. Oh, the remaster. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that. Yeah,
that whole not going for achievements is a fib. We've seen you play that crawling game sequel and spent like an hour trying to get the last achievement.
Thank you, Hairline Harold for the 10. That's crazy. Thank you, Niall, for the month as well. No, okay, so I wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for content, though. That's the reason why I wanted to get all the achievements, because I wanted to do it for content. I wouldn't have done that if I was like on my own. And also, I didn't have to do too much to get all the achievements, to be fair. It was only like an extra 15 minutes of backtracking.
Solve, build that you come up with yourself, and dialogue choice that ends well will all feel so much more rewarding. This is the way developers want you to play the game. I recently played Timberborn for the first time. I am absolute dog water at city builders and strategy games for some reason. So in order to enjoy...
I hate to admit it, I don't get city building games at all.
Easiest, and I worked on small little goals. Slowly, through trial and error, I learned how to actually play the game, but more importantly, I enjoyed my entire journey because I just took my time with it. I didn't look anything up, and I'm prouder than ever that my virtual beavers get to have a nice life. If I were to watch a 1 hour long video...
I think my problem is, like, when I play city builder games, I don't enjoy them because I always think I'm doing something wrong. It's like when I play Minecraft, right? When I make a house on the first night, I'll play on hardcore, and it's like I have to make the best house on the first night. And if I don't, like, I've basically just failed, and then I quit the game. Genuinely the most stupid closed mindset imaginable.
Life. If I were to watch a 1 hour long video on Timberborn, things I wish I knew before playing the game, I think my experience would just be dampened. Although I will say the worst part is when the game isn't clear enough on what to do next, so you just end up like backtracking for hours. I think nobody should have to go through that, and
I was playing Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness last night, the remaster, and that game is infamous for how much it sucks, and it just isn't a Tomb Raider game. I got stuck on one part for like a good 40 minutes, and I had to look up a guide because I explored this whole area, and what I was meant to do is walk up to one specific fence just to actually get to the next level. It was so stupid.
Probably should just look it up by then, but you never know when it's just like a weird glitch preventing you from progressing. But try your best to move on without looking it up first. Like I said, just play games the way the developers want you to. Now I will
play the game the way the developers want. Okay, so first of all, I buy the gold edition for $80, and then I buy all the battle passes and all the pre-orders.
Say that doesn't make the thought of work the next day go away magically. There's no solution to that. But there is a small remedy that I frequently use. If you feel guilty for playing video games...
What he's saying there about that kind of like Monday fear kind of thing, that's so relatable. Because I remember like every time before I had school or college, I would always stay up as late as I could on a Sunday night just gaming. I remember I'd like go into my bed with like this small little laptop that was complete. It was like some TeamU garbage. It was genuinely like a 50-pound laptop, just watching videos and stuff. Because I was like, I need to delay as much time. I need to have. They call it. There's a word for it. It's like kind of a procrastination thing, where it's like you feel like you haven't had enough joy or fulfillment in a day, so you almost steal from the next day to try and get it back. That's why a lot of people stay up a lot later than they should and like game and stuff, because you feel like you haven't really had much of a fulfilled day, so you steal it from the next day to compensate. But that just ends up like burning the candle at both ends. Thank you, We Gone, for the $150. Thank you so much, man. Here's a week's worth of rent. Enjoy your new life and never come back. Okay. appreciate it. If you gave it through TTS, I would have actually quit. But you gave it on Super Chat, so YouTube takes half of that. But I still really do appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for the 150. That's an insane amount, dude. Thank you so much. Yeah, W's in chat for We Gon Be Ali. We Gon Be Ali? Is this name cropped out? What's his name? Oh, We Gon Be Alright. Oh, his name was cropped out. Okay.
Games during your free time, then you should do something productive. Do something productive. Go to the gym, clean something in the house, work on a project, apply for a better job, make a better resume.
I like the thing he's doing here, where he's basically trying to be like the kind of caring father, where it's like, get up early, go to the gym, fix your life. And then the average Zoomer, when they open their phone and go on TikTok, they're just absolutely brainwashed, because if they're not doing 50,000 sets on the squat rack a day, and if they're not eating steak, blueberries, and avocado off a wooden cutting board, they're not min-maxing their life. So they're basically just not... They're beta males. It's... Why'd we make social media, man? This sucks. Why'd we make it?
Just do something productive. And after that, reward yourself.
What's he talking about? If you get recommended like fitness shorts on like YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, I think I liked one because it was so comedically bad. I thought it was parody, but it's not. You genuinely get all these people and they make their entire life about just trying to consume as much protein as possible. Like the thing is, people work out to feel better about themselves, or to get a better body, which also makes them feel better about themselves. But then those kinds of people, they've turned it into a business, where it's like, okay, I need to like eat ridiculous amounts of food like on stream, so people stay on the stream and they keep watching the content and consuming it. And then that just warps a bunch of kids' brains into thinking like, okay, if I don't get like 300 billion grams of protein a day, I'm not doing enough.
By playing a video game. And
I saw this one guy as well, and he was bragging about having a shot of vodka in his pre-workout, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, genuinely trying to make that into a personality trait.
Amazing quote I read once goes something kind of like this. One of the few ways to relieve anxiety is with action. In this case, being unproductive might be why you feel anxious playing video games. So go be...
Well, this is what I said earlier. It's like you've got people that are NEETs that don't have any jobs. They're not in education. They're not in employment. They're not in training.
Finals.
Even for just a little bit. And reward yourself.
I said fuck college and became a slop editor. Real career. That sucks. Oh, wait, that's my editor. That's June. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. Okay, I friendly fired my own editor. I'm sorry. It's okay, bro. I became a YouTuber. I do think I feel. I never even went to uni. I went to college and then I pulled out. I shouldn't have said the wrong word. I dropped out. And then I became a YouTuber. So it's okay, bro. We're both losers. That's crazy. Yeah, you can take it up with HR.
With video games, you will have a much healthier relationship with your games if you do both of these.
How do you think I feel having a degree working on slop? Yeah, that's a fair point, actually. Like I wanted to be a doctor before YouTube. Could you imagine that? Me being a GP? That'd be horrendous. No, June, I love you, man. I'm doing a bit. It was okay, June. I knew it was you. I'm doing it for the clip farm, okay? But this isn't gonna make it in the clip.
So that's it. That's my tip for all of you in this.
He does a twit longer on me. He's like, my boss used me for clip farming. He exploited me.
Same boat as me or anyone. Play a game like you're a kid again, and if you have to, just make video games a reward for a hard day's work. That's really all I got. This was just the thought that I've been having for a while, and after
I think this is a good video. He obviously does touch on a lot of things of like I think the main message of this video is getting older sucks, which is true. Definitely true. I mean, there's so many games that have been remastered that I've played. And then when I go back and play them, it's like, this actually wasn't that good. It's just because I was a kid. I mean, like, Spyro the Dragon's a good one, right? I love that game.